WA2S Films, an award-winning nonprofit conceived to explore, observe, and produce programs about human-animal interaction. On this episode of The Rescuer's DNA,
my name is Bruce Giffin. I'm a freelance photographer, and when I come home from doing photography for money, I usually go out in the city and shoot pictures for myself. It's a pretty good definition of happiness, I would say.
Now you have a couple of friends with you here today. Who are they?
Henry? Where'd Henry go? He'll be back. He's not long. Henry! I have two stray dogs that I found on these road trips. The little one is called Squeak because she squeaks instead of barks. We found her in the Michigan Central Depot train station that's been abandoned since about '87. It was 5 degrees that morning, and we heard a dog squeaking or crying, and we went over, and 15 feet down in an elevator shaft, she was there and a pit bull. So we fished him out. Pit bull ran away, haven't seen him, and she's been with me ever since. Henry is the love of my life. Henry, come here. This is Henry, come on. And he's a bodyguard, and he's a great companion on road trips. He's just a great company to be with, even if he wasn't scary to anybody that would probably want to do me harm. He's huge. I was shooting at the Fisher Body Plant in Detroit, and I saw him going through the trash, so I rolled down my window, and he came over and licked me in the face, jumped up and licked me, and I was like, get in, and he's been with me ever since. I already had two stray dogs at that time. It was crazy to take a third one, but he was pretty irresistible.
My name's Alan Hill. I've been living here for about 6.5 years. I'm from Detroit originally. I work here and live here at the Packard Plant, the historic Packard Plant. Do a little auto repair, a little storage, a little welding and fabricating, just to keep things going. There really is a stray animal problem. Too many dogs, too many cats. A lot of them are homeless, and they need a good word. They don't have a voice. They need somebody to stick up and represent them. And my heart goes out to the poor animals that are unable to fend for themselves and out there getting sick and being ignored.
I used to drive by the Packard Plant all the time and wishing I could get in here, not having a clue where that one doorway was. And I started teaching at a community college here, and one of the students knew how to get in, so I followed him in, and it started a 9 or 10 year love affair with the Packard and all the abandoned buildings in Detroit. When I first started coming in here 9 or 10 years ago, there was one doorway in, and most of the windows were intact. And now, most of the windows are broken. Come on, Henry. Wait. There's boxes and boxes of paintball in here. They just used it as they wanted to.
Why not?
Yeah, there was a flea market, boat and car storage. When we first started coming in, there were probably 20 or 25 cars in here. One was probably a 48 or 49 Packard ambulance. Could be the last one in existence, I don't know. And then one day it was suddenly gone.
Yeah.
So I came in this room one time and there was a box full of spray cans and a book with the graffiti drawn perfectly as it would be on the wall. And I turned and it was on the wall. So I got the book and I got the picture. There's not much of a better palette around than this one.
Yeah, I've been here 6.5 years, and I've saw a lot of people coming through here. Actually, this place is more like a connection. As people come by, do a lot of graffiti. People come from all over the world. They take pictures, do music videos. Eminem did a music video. Transformers 3 was filmed here. You know, it seems like every week somebody comes by and does part of a video or music video.
Time magazine brought people in from France, and all the national magazines came to town and doing the pictures that we've been doing for years. And I started losing interest in it because what's the point? So I started shooting people, and I have a project called The Face of Detroit where every face you look at is the face of Detroit for that moment. And these are street people. I approach them on the street. I have 150 or so that I'm working on. A third of them are homeless, 2/3 are not homeless, and it's not important which. And you probably wouldn't be able to point and tell me which ones are homeless. The other interesting thing about that is all of us is in the same boat. We're all literally one paycheck away from being homeless. I don't know how many people just miss a paycheck or lose their job for a couple of months and they're going to be out on the street. The economy is horrible right now. None of us are above it, so we better pay attention to what we're doing. I think that's really one of the points of the project, is that could be me, could be you. I can't explain how it feels to be in here, you know. It's like I have a secret. Nobody knows I'm here, which is good and bad. And especially on a nice rainy or snowy day, it just feels like home, you know. And I've never experienced any fear in here at all.
You know, people walking by that are walking alone, you know, I feel that there is strength in numbers when you come through here. You know, just like any other place in Detroit, that one can't be too cautious. Yeah, as I'm the caretaker, you know, I kind of walk around and try to keep people from destroying the place, you know, through fires and smashing things up, leaving abandoned cars here. And there's a problem with people leaving cars here and setting them on fire.
I truly believe that most crimes are with two people that know each other. And if I didn't believe that, I would never leave the house. So I'm pretty fearless about the city. And if something happens, well, something happens, I guess. I'm not going to stay at home.
You know, if it's not the criminals, it's the animals. Some people won't even go out for a walk because there's stray dogs hanging around on the sidewalk and streets, and you know, a lot of people just stay at home as a result of it.
They talk about the Packard Plant being full of hobos running around and crack addicts wanting to rob you and packs of dogs running through. And I think one time I saw a few dogs run through, but they weren't mean and they were just running through.
There's a couple of cats living in the area. You know, they seem to be able to take care of themselves somewhat, but it's the dogs that are really a concern. Sometimes you see the same ones every day, and sometimes the new ones come through, and it's a problem that it's not getting any smaller. More people are losing their jobs and not able to take care of their animals, so they turn them loose. But, you know, something needs to be done about it. You know, they need more spay and neuter and more public awareness, you know. Reduce the problem to people that have pets and able to take care of them and love their animals.
I'm a fan of the spay and neuter program only because it keeps the population down. It gives them a chance to actually get a home if there's fewer of them. But it's a huge problem. I think there's a lot of strays, but I think there's probably a bigger problem with the abuse of dogs. The ones you see that people actually own and they've got them chained up and they don't feed them or give them water and they just leave them in the yard for weeks and weeks at a time. I think dogs running wild learn to take care of themselves, but a dog that's chained in somebody's backyard, they're pretty helpless as far as surviving. I found Henry was going through garbage and he was feeding himself, you know. But if he was tied up in somebody's yard with a chain around his neck, he could easily just die there. Henry is such a nice, civilized dog. I believe he was dropped off because he was already neutered when I got him. And he was a pretty good size, like he wasn't starved by any stretch. So I think he was just dumped. Maybe people ran out of money or maybe they lost their home and just couldn't take care of him any longer. Some of those dogs that have been abused need to be euthanized just to be put out of their misery. I mean, Jack Kevorkian, I think, had it right. That's the ultimate right for us. Unfortunately, dogs don't get to choose. We choose for them, which I'm not sure how civilized that is. If the situation was reversed, the dogs would probably let us live as long as we wanted. They're more civilized. Hi, I'm Bruce Giffin. I'm a freelance photographer from Detroit, Michigan.
My name is Alan Hill, and you are watching the World Animal Awareness Society.
You're here because you love animals. Help save a life today. Your donation will send the World Animal Awareness Society team on our next mission. From all of us here at the World Animal Awareness Society and WA2S Films, Thank you for watching The Rescuer's DNA. We'll see you next time. It's an animal world out there. Watch the World Animal Awareness Society channel and feel right at home. Come, sit, subscribe, and stay a while.